upon arrival at Denpasar Airport. If you find some difficulties, some ground staff at the Denpasar Airport will help you to integrate data into Peduli Lindungi application. And you have to hold as well travel insurance with COVID-19 coverage per person. You can booking online. Actually, for this insurance service, if you have any kind of health insurance and not from Jaga Wisata, the recommended COVID-19 insurance here in Indonesia, it will be a little difficult for the hospital to claim your insurance of your origin country. So we suggest for you to buy the insurance from Jaga Wisata. And then the next terms and conditions, you have to download Peduli Lindungi applications. Peduli Lindungi, when it is translated, it means take and care, take and protect, care and protect, and has to be completed letters upon arrival in Denpasar. And then proceed to first PCR swab test at Denpasar Airport through online booking. The online booking can be got from the Bali Tourism Hospitality. And the cost for the PCR swab test is 275,000 rupiahs. It can be paid online or cash. And then after that, you can check in at the accommodation and await for the result of the first PCR swab test in your room at the accommodations of hotels or villas. Next slide. And this is the guidelines for PCR swab test, health procedures upon arrival. If the PCR swab test result is negative, international travelers can continue the activities. Meanwhile, if the PCR swab test result is positive with no or only very minor symptoms, it is required to undergo 5 days isolation at isolation hotels, which currently are following properties: Desa Pramana Swan or Hotel Max One in Ubud, and covered by insurance or on own expenses. Elderly people and person with health issues will be admitted to a hospital. The decision is done after physical examination by medical staff or doctor. Once again, by insurance or on own expenses. On day 5, if the guest is testing negative, they can continue their travel plans on day 6. And of course, you or the international travelers and everybody here must strictly follow the health protocols. Next slide. And then what you have to do once you want to exit from Bali. Airlines or authorities require a negative PCR swab test upon check-in at Denpasar Airport. And the PCR swab test can be done at any of 27 authorized laboratories or by accommodation visit service. The price is 275,000 rupiahs with extra charge for the visitation or the transportations to your accommodations. And once again, to make it easier for you, you can book your PCR test online through balitourismhospitality.com. And then because the PCR swab test for departure is always conducted in the morning and the result will be received by WhatsApp or email in the evening at the same day. So you have to be, it has to be done minimum 1 day prior to departure. Next slide. I think it is all of my presentations. We can discuss further for your kind attention. And if we have further questions and you need answers from us, we will be gladly to provide the answers for you. And today, I am also accompanied by our partner from the Bali Tourism Board, because I'm sure there will be a lot of questions for us, and Pak Freddy, the representative from Bali Tourism Board, will be gladly to support me to answer your question. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bu Indah, for the presentation. It's really informative, and we're also glad to have Pak Freddy from Bali Tourism Board with us today. Hopefully, Pak Freddy later on can answer more questions from the participants. Ladies and gentlemen, save the questions for a while because we are going to have the second presentations for the Immigration Office in Jakarta before we go to the discussion sessions. We already have Bapak Wihadi here. He's gonna be presenting more on the immigration's regulations, I think. Hello, Pak Wihadi, good morning.
Good morning, Bu.
How are you, Pak?
Good, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here with us, and most importantly, thank you so much for preparing the presentation in such a short notice. Are you ready for the presentations?
Yes, I will share the screen.
Yes, we have already given you the access. You can screen right away.
Okay, thank you. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, I will start. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the attendees of today's meeting. So I will try to present as briefly as I can, although some points have been presented by Bu Indah before me, but I will add just some points regarding the visa policy during this COVID-19 pandemic. So, according to the Immigration Act number 6, year 2011, there are four main core business of Indonesian immigration. The first one is the public service. Second is law enforcement. Third is national security. And the fourth is public welfare development facilitator. So this is a brief explanation about the policy about the entry flow during COVID-19 pandemic. So everyone, unless it's regulated further with the specific regulation, must have visa to enter Indonesia in the form of electronic visa. So the electronic visa is the kind of the new policy that doesn't require a foreigner to go to the embassy to get the sticker visa. On the other hand, is given electronically through the email and can be used directly to enter Indonesia. And so there is no, the government just issued the newest policy regarding the enter of the foreigners. They are not required to do the quarantine again. However, they are still needed to show the negative PCR test result 2 days prior of departure time and the proof of full dose COVID-19 vaccination in 14 days before departure. And then they can enter to the designated checkpoints, consist of 7 airports, 5 seaports, and 3 national border cross stations. So there are 2 kinds of visa that that will be the authority of the Directorate General of Immigration. The first one is the visit visa. Second one is the limited stay visa. There are, as you can see, there are some proposals they can use, including the tourism for the visit visa for the foreigner to enter Indonesia. And the requirements for the e-visa is that it requires sponsorship, main requirements such as passport, tickets, the proof of funds, and the additional requirements such as proof of COVID-19 vaccination, statement letter, travel insurance, and certificate of good conduct if the foreigners would like to apply, would like to get the electronic visa. This is the business process for e-visa for tourism. It will be done by the sponsors in Indonesia who submit the application and paying the fee, while we at the Directorate General Immigration do the verification check. And then the sponsor and foreigners will receive electronic visa through email and can be used directly to enter to Indonesia. This is the visit visa for tourism purposes requirements. Such, valid passport for minimum 6 months, sponsor letter, copy of bank account, return ticket, proof of COVID-19 vaccine, full dose, statement letter regarding willingness to comply with health protocol, proof of health or travel insurance, and certificate of good conduct from authorities in the origin country. This is the output of the e-visa grant letter for the foreigners in the form of electronic form that can be shown to our officers at the landing at the immigration checkpoints. That can be cross-checked with our data, and if the data match, the foreigners can enter Indonesia directly. This is the newest, the latest policy regarding the visa on arrival, as has been presented by Bu Indah before. It's been implemented since 7 March 2022, valid at Ngurah Rai Airport. So if the foreigners want to have the visa on arrival, they have to enter through Bali Airport. They have to enter in Bali Airport, but they can depart from any immigration checkpoint in Indonesia. So the compulsory is only on the arrival, but for the departure, they can depart from any airports in Indonesia. The visit visa, the visa on arrival is 500,000 rupiah. It's valid for 42 countries. The foreigners must have validity passport of minimum 6 months upon arrival. They must have return ticket and other documents referring to COVID-19 National Task Force Guide. Also, there are also the latest policy regarding immigration facilitation in Batam and Bintan, Riau. It's implemented since 21st of March 2022. It's given free visa for ASEAN countries, Philippines included, and foreigners that non-Asian countries who hold the permanent resident of Singapore. So permanent resident of Singapore can also given the immigration facilitation in the form of free visa if they enter through seaports in Batam or Bintan. At 5 seaports in Batam and 2 seaports in Bintan. Also, it given a visa on arrival for 25 countries outside the Asian countries. The fee is same, 500,000 rupiah. Passport validity minimum 6 months on arrival for the free visa, or both free visa and the visa on arrival. And also they must have the return ticket and other documents referring to COVID-19 National Task Force Guide. I think that's the main point of our policy, our latest policy in this COVID-19 situation. Should there any question from the attendees, we will be happy to answer it later. Back to you, Bu Wita. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pak Wihadi, for the presentation. It's really informative presentations. So now we're entering the discussions or question and answer sessions. I would like to invite everyone who would like to raise any questions or concern or comment regarding visa or requirements to enter Indonesia, especially for tourism purposes, to can write the questions on the chat column or can raise the hands. There is a feature raise hand so that I can call you directly and you can ask the questions right away. I think we already have one person from Filtoa would like to ask the questions.
Yes, good morning and thank you from the Indonesian Embassy in Manila for inviting us in this very, very important Zoom meeting. I just would like to be clarified, sorry for a little confusion, because it says that effective March 22, all are subject to visa to enter Indonesia, except for Batam and Bintan. When can you say it again, sir? When you say subject to visa, if Filipinos, because we can only use Bali Airport for now, right, to enter Indonesia. Am I correct? And if that is correct, are we subject to visa because we are entering Bali and not Bintan or Batam? Considering that we are ASEAN. Sir?
So would you like me to answer directly or waiting for with direction or?
Answer questions directly.
Okay. So Ms. Filtoa, there are two options. There are two options for the Philippines if they want to enter Indonesia. If they want to get the free visa facilitation, they have to enter through Batam or Bintan. But if they want to enter through Bali, they have to apply for the visa on arrival upon arrival in Bali airport.
Wow, that's kind of tough. Is it just temporary, sir? Because you know, ASEAN countries, we are from the ASEAN countries, 10 countries in the ASEAN community. And you know for a fact that even Indonesians, when you come into my country, you are not subject to visa. But why now the Filipinos, except for Batam and Bintan, we are now subject to visa? Isn't it?
That's the current policy, but later there will be an evaluation. But in the meantime, even Asian countries are subject to the visit for the visa on arrival in Bali. But we also give the facilitation of the free visa if they enter through Batam seaports.
Like yeah, that. But okay, that's okay. Because the reason I'm asking is because I just got a call from a client yesterday, and he was asking me to prepare, you know, for like 30 people to Bali sometime in May. But sir, until when is this restrictions for entry visa valid? Is it? I don't know. I mean, until when? When is this?
I cannot give you the exact date, but all I can inform you is that currently that's the policy of the Indonesia regarding the visa for foreigners.
Okay, so my other question, and I'm questioning this not only for myself but for the rest of those who are present in the Zoom meeting. You, of course, you require a negative test result upon before leaving the country into your country. Do you still require quarantine when they arrive in Bali? Because obviously it's only Bali that we can all travelers can only enter Bali for now.
If the PCR test results, when they arrive and doing the PCR test result and the result is negative, there's no need for the quarantine.
Meaning, sir, that if we have a negative results from the Philippines, which you require, I think, is 48 hours. We can present that.
Yeah,
And
but
that
when you arrive,
will be honored.
you still have to do the PCR test in our country. If the PCR test result came negative, then they could continue the journey.
Continue with the tour.
Yeah, continue
Well,
with
sir,
the
the RT-PCR test that will be conducted at the airport, I suppose, will it be on our personal account, or your government is paying for this? And how many hours is the time to release the results? How many hours, sir?
I don't know exactly of that condition, because it's the National COVID-19 Task Force.
I will help.
But maybe Ms.
I will
Bulga
help
can
Pak
help.
Wihadi. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will help Pak Wihadi to answer your last questions.
Yes, ma'am.
This is right that yes, in Denpasar Airport you have to do a PCR test again on your own expense, and then you can on your own expense with your own money. So
Yes,
not our government will pay you. Yes, and then you wait the result in your accommodation, in your hotels, in your villas. And while you are waiting for the result, you just can stay in your room. It's about 3 hours to 6 hours for the result to be issued. Is it clear enough?
Yes, ma'am, it is clear enough. Clear. But may I know how much would it cost for an RT-PCR in your country upon arrival?
275,000 rupiahs.
And that is how much in US dollar, roughly?
20, I think, 20 US dollars.
20.
Yes,
20
US dollar, yeah.
Yes, and you can book the PCR test by the link I have given in my presentations, Bali Tourism Hospitality. You can just click that link and it will be easier for you or everybody who wants to book the PCR test.
Okay, okay.
Bali Tourism Hospitality. Bali Tourism Hospitality, no space, all small fonts. Bali Tourism Hospitality.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That I think this is clear for everyone. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
For the questions, I think that was the very nice first questions raised, and that's actually most of the questions that we received from through our emails or social media are regarding this very technicality. So it's really I'm really glad to have the speakers directly from the tourism department of Bali provinces and also from the immigration office. We have two other people asking for raising the hands, and I also would like to remind everyone that we already put on the chat the link that Ms. Indah mentions to where you can book for the PCR test. And also we would like to request everyone to fill out the attendance form so we could have your contact. So later on, if we have more further updates or information, so we can send out through the emails. Okay, so the next questions I would like to invite Bapak Aji Wahyono from Aneka Kartika Tours. Hello, Bapak, how are you? You're still muted, Pak. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I'm good. I'm good, Bu. Thank you very much for the invitation, because I believe that after this session, more and more travel agent friends in Philippines know more about the technicalities. But I have one question, especially for Ibu Dayu. Om Swastiastu, Bu Dayu. Yeah, Bu. Regarding the Jaga Wisata local insurance, I know that it's actually an optional, because most of our clients coming from our travel agents or tour operator friends in the Philippines, usually they have already got their own travel and health insurance before they go. But as you were saying and suggesting that there were some cases, and from time to time,
Yes.
there were some cases. There is a possibility of getting into a trouble when you have to deal with the
Yeah.
local hospital in Bali, right?
Yes.
So
That's true. Yes.
yeah, so Jaga Wisata is highly recommended. My question is, Ibu,
Yes.
is Jaga Wisata is also covering the hotel accommodation quarantine if the passengers turn out to be positive and he or she gets only no asymptomatic or mild symptom? That's my question, Bu.
Yeah, probably Pak Freddy from Bali Tourism Board. Wait a minute, yeah.
Okay, okay, Bu.
Yeah.
Because I got what you call that a few similar question about that, because I was already explaining to some friends, and okay, if you are not sure with your international insurance, both from the Philippines, or if you want what you call that to have a more peace of mind, and if paying extra like $30 to buy the local insurance is no issue for you, then you really should buy the Jaga Wisata on the spot. But they were coming back to me and asking, okay, fine, but what about the asymptomatic and mild symptoms? Because we still have to be quarantined 5 days, right? Who is going to pay? Is Jaga Wisata good for that? If Jaga Wisata good, then it is really worth to buy, Bu. Otherwise, yeah, it's just a waste of money.
Meanwhile, we are waiting for Pak Freddy to answer. The Jaga Wisata can only pay for hospital expenses, not for hotels. So Jaga Wisata is only have cooperation with COVID-19 hospitals.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Because I was reading in your presentation, it says also a positive customer on the spot after they got tested positive, the result. They were transferred from the hotels they booked into the facilities, right? There are two at the moment. One is Max One Ubud, and the other one is, I can remember the name. There's something Pramana or something, right? Is that true?
Yes, that is right.
Yeah.
That is right, Pak
and then yes, yeah, and then I saw in the presentation it's also said that it is on your own account or paid by insurance. In this case, which insurance, Bu? Because this is really important. If we can give clear information about the insurance, because there always be a possibility that you get tested positive on the spot in Bali. Then we really have to tell our clients, okay, plan A, plan B, situation A, situation B, so that they can also tell the clients, and then they can get fully prepared. Thank you very much for the answer, Bu.
Thank you very much for your critical questions, Pak Aji. Because I do not want to give you a wrong response. I have to make sure with Pak Freddy. But I think that Jaga Wisata can be used as well with the isolation hotels, yeah, because these guidelines we have sit together with Bali Tourism Board, Bali Medical Tourism Associations as well to make these guidelines. I think that this insurance refers to Jaga Wisata, but I still contact Pak Freddy and I will get back to you, Pak Aji.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, please. Yes, please, Bu. Because it is very important, Bu. Concerning the other technicality, VOA, PCR test, I'm good, and then I can already explain to our friends and clients. But this particular question has been hovering my head for the past few days. Thank you very much, Bu.
Sure, Pak Aji. Yes.
Thank you so much, Pak Aji, for the questions and also Budayu for answering the questions. Just to repeat that for everyone. So Jaga Wisata health insurance can only cover the hospital, but not the hotel for the quarantine in case they are asymptomatic or having mild symptoms that do not require to be hospitalized. So we are still waiting for the confirmations from Pak Freddy and also some other informations, which health insurance that can maybe cover both the hotel and also hospital. We are going to get back on that questions. Now we have other two people who wants to ask questions. I would like to give the opportunity to Marvi.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, because I have a family traveling together in April. So the parents are fully vaccinated, and then the two children have health issues. So how about it for those passengers that cannot get the COVID vaccine because of the health issues?
Okay, Marfi. For the international travelers with health issue that they cannot be vaccinated, they can still come to Bali, but you have to provide health certificates about that issue. Why is the international traveler cannot be vaccinated? So you have to provide explanation from the government hospitals or government medical staff to explain why the person or the individual cannot be vaccinated. So that's the terms and conditions for that case.
I see. All right. And then how about for the accommodation? Is there any, I mean, is it mandatory that they have to be like in a hotel designated by the government to, to use, or they can, they can stay anywhere?
Yes. Actually, in the circular letter, it is not mentioned that here, if from our side, from the government of Bali side, we suggest you or we promote you to use the CHSA accommodations. The accommodation with proof of cleanliness, health, safety, and environment. We have about 1,384 accommodations that I'm sure it will be easy for you to choose from that 1,300 accommodations.
But
we will give,
Go ahead. But it's not really mandatory that they need to stay to one of those CSHE hotels.
I can say it is not a mandatory because it is not stated in the circular of the COVID-19 task force. But here, from our side, the Bali government side, we promote the CHSE accommodations.
Okay, and then one more question. For those that will get the RT-PCR on arrival, can they do it on the spot or it should be pre-book?
They can do it. It must be done at the airport Ngurah Rai.
But it has to be pre-book. I mean, it has to be
you
like
can buy
you have the appointment or you can do it on spot. Okay, can buy on spot.
Yeah, on spot. But I think it will be easier for you. It will be easier for you if you buy it online. So you just do the test once you arrive in the airport because you have already paid it.
All right. And then what is the recommended time frame to apply for the e-visa? This question is probably been answered by Mr. I forgot the name of the guy.
Yes, I think Mr. Hadi could ask the questions.
Hadi, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
So the fee for the e-visa, there are two billings that need to be paid. The first one is in rupiah, 200,000 rupiah, and for the visit visa, the fee is $50 US, and it all must be paid at the local bank institution in Indonesia.
And then how long is the processing for the e-visa?
Sorry?
How long is the processing?
Oh, the process will be maximum in 5 working days if the fee is paid directly after successfully submitting the application.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Just to clarify with Mr. Wihadi, so there are two kinds of fees, the 200,000 rupiah and the $50 US. What's the 200K for?
200,000 is for the admission, is for the approval. This the approval fee of the visa, and the $50 US is for the visa fee.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, for the e-visa, it's only the sponsor who can apply for it, right? So it's
Yes, in Indonesia.
paying for
The foreigner.
Oh, okay. So I have one question regarding the e-visa now that we're talking about this. So the sponsor, is it supposed to be travel agents, Indonesian citizens, or it could be foreigners to be the sponsor as well?
It depends on what purpose for the tourism purpose, the sponsor must be a travel agent in Indonesia.
Okay. Thank you so much, Pak Wihadi, for the clarifications.
You're welcome.
We have another questions from Ms. Rea Valas from Cebu Pacific.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Ibu. Thank you for the invitation as always. So I'm Ria from Cebu Pacific. Actually, my other questions was already raised by Aji, Bufe, and Guru Mavi. But just another question, because as you all know, there's different requirements and implemented by the country. This is also our gauge in putting our flights. So tentatively, we are flying to Bali by May. But my question is to Pa. I know you already said this earlier, that we're not sure until when the VOA is going to be required. But for Bali, you have, just like the other countries, they do have like a review. Is this going to be a review per quarter, per monthly, depending on the case? I think most of the people in the call, the travel agents, the different associations, are also, will need to know ahead of time. So is there a timeline that normally you have? Like, are we expecting after 3 months, this will be reviewed again and the visa upon arrival will be lifted? The RT-PCR upon arrival will be removed, things like that, because as the airline itself, we also need to, check on all this, because depending on your requirement, that's when our passengers will really, we can invite all the different Filipinos to fly to Bali. So that's my question. Is there a timeline, or is this depending on the case of COVID? So also for our network team, at least we can give them a feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rea. I think the voice was a bit choppy, but if I can restate it, the questions was whether or not there is a timeline. These all requirements are still going to be in place. And if there is what kind of measurement that is used by the Indonesian government to decide on the timeline, whether it is based on the period of time or whether it is based on the case per country. Maybe Pak Wihadi, could you explain about this?
Thank you, Buita. Regarding the timeline, the best answer that I can give is that the timeline is not absolute. It's like maybe in 1 month, 2 weeks, or 3 months, because it depends situationally, because the COVID-19 is so dynamic. It's up to the top level management in the country that said there should be another evaluation, there should be another consideration regarding the COVID-19 pandemic situation, because it is not only about visa. It's about the preparation of our country. It concerns with the COVID-19 situation, domestically and internationally. All those factors must be considered by our government before implementing the new policy. I cannot give you the exact time when the evaluation will be done, but the opening of Bali is not even 1 month yet since the government opened Bali. I guess maybe there should be another evaluation in the near future, but I cannot give you the exact time, because if I give the false information, it will be bad image for our country. So there will be another evaluation, like for this visa on arrival. It's only about the first policy regarding the visa on arrival in Bali is on 7 March, but in the 21st of March, there's a new policy given by the Directorate of Immigration about the countries that includes as the subject. So it cannot be measured absolutely when the evaluation will be done by our government. I think that's the best answer I can give. Thank you.
Thank you
for that answer, Pa. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ria, for the questions, and Pak Yohadi for the answers.
Ibu Wita,
Ya, Ibu Indah.
I will get back to Pak Aji. I think I've got already the answer about the Jaga Wisata insurance. I have read from their website that Jaga Wisata will pay for the fee of the isolation hotels. So Pak Aji has asked that if the positive COVID stay at the isolation hotel, will be it paid by the Jaga Wisata? The answer is yes. It is stated at the link of Jaga Wisata insurance. And I think that I have read a question is Jaga Wisata is the only national insurance recommended here in Indonesia. The answer is yes. The government only recommended Jaga Wisata for the COVID-19 insurance service.
Additional question. Is it only valid in Bali or in other cities? In case our clients from the Philippines, first they arrive in Bali, after a few days they continue the trip to, let's say, to East Java or to Lombok. Is the coverage of Jaga Wisata also valid in outside Bali?
I think it is valid for outside Bali as well, as long as the hospitals in the outside Bali also has cooperation with Jaga Wisata. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is really highly recommended to purchase Jaga Wisata, Ibu, yeah, in case of it
will be easier for
Okay, Bu. Thank you very much for now.
You're welcome, Pak Aji.
Thank you, Bu.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarifications. I think that is quite good news that the Jaga Wisata travel insurance can also pay or cover the hotel for the asymptomatic or mild We can perhaps add 15 to 30 minutes for discussion and sessions. If there are still other questions that you would like to raise directly, you can still raise your hands. While we're waiting, I would like to read some questions that already exist in the chat, I think. So, okay, the first question is from TripQuest. Just to clarify, RT-PCR is required prior to arrival, upon arrival, and before departure from Bali. Is that correct, Budayu?
Yeah. Before flight, and then once you arrive at Denpasar Airport. Meanwhile, when you exit Bali, it depends on your next destination's regulations, I think. But the airlines, I think they will ask you for the negative PCR test result. Yeah.
Okay. And for the prior to arrival, I think it's 48 hours.
Yes.
Yeah. So
to prior flight, yeah. 2 times 24.
Yeah. So it's 48 hours prior to arrival. Upon arrival, that will be taken in the Denpasar Airport. The result will be 3 to 6 hours, and then before departure, that depends on the destinations. But of course, usually the airlines will require that. The second question is from Ms. Leonor Alarcio from United Travel, UTAOA. How much will be the cost of the travel insurance if we will get it directly from Bali? Oh, it has been answered by Pak Aji, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
500,000 or around.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, and then another question is from United Travel Agencies and Operator Associations. You have mentioned that you have preferred travel insurance. How can we book the travel insurance? And may we know the coverage of this insurance? I think it has been discussed, but if you would like to repeat that, sure.
Yeah, you can go to the link I have set in my presentations. You can go to the www.jagawisata.covid19. You can go there, and you will find the explanations about this Jaga Wisata travel insurance further.
Okay, so yeah, there is the link that everyone can go in order to get or in order to apply for the register for the insurance. Okay, there is another question from Earth Explorer. Okay, no, this is just comments. As for Bali visa at the airport applications, I hope it is just temporary. I think the questions from Marvi have been answered. This was about the family who are traveling. And for this, just to clarify, so those who have health issues and are not able to be vaccinated can still travel to Bali, but they need a medical certificate from the hospital here in the Philippines stating why they cannot be.
Yeah.
Do you have any requirements? Do you have requirements what kind of hospital or
government hospital? Yeah.
Sorry?
Government, from the government or official hospitals.
Okay,
government, so, not the private. Yeah.
Okay, so not the private one, not the private hospital, but it must be from government hospital. Another question from TripQuest. Jaga Wisata is the only allowed travel insurance. If, for example, our client has Pacific Cross, is it not acceptable?
When they have COVID-19 case here in Bali, it will be a little bit difficult for the hospitals or the hotels to claim the insurance because they have no cooperation yet with the insurance. So far, we have 15 cases that they have difficulties in paying the insurance because they have no cooperations with the hotels and hospitals here in Bali. But yeah, you know, Bali Medical Tourist Associations will still help, but still some difficulties will occur there. We still have some difficulties, but of course we are here. We'll help you. We will be glad to help you, but we recommend you to just book or buy Jaga Wisata. It will be easier for everybody.
Okay, so it's actually not. So the answer would be like, it is technically not the only one allowed travel insurance, but it is recommended.
We recommend it.
Because Wisata has a lot of coverage and has a lot of cooperations with there. Meanwhile, other insurance, let's say the international insurance, may not have cooperations with the hospital there, so that there is going to be a bit difficulties. But so if, for example, the travel insurance has already coverage for COVID-19 and has already cooperations with the hospital, then that will be possible as well. Right?
Yes, right.
Okay, but maybe for now, not so much of travel insurance that has cooperations with hotels in Bali yet. So that's why so that's why Jaga Wisata.
Only Jaga Wisata.
Jaga Wisata is recommended. Yes, and then there is another question. Can tourists enter Jakarta? So maybe this will be to Pak Wihadi.
If they want to enter to Jakarta, they must have the e-visa for tourism. If they want to apply for the visa on arrival, they can enter through Bali.
Okay.
In the departure situation, they can leave from any airport in Indonesia as long as it includes in the COVID-19 National Task Force circular letter.
Sorry, so the tourists can only enter Bali with visa on arrival. They can enter Jakarta with e-visa. But what if they enter through Bali and then have flight from Bali to Jakarta or other countries?
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay too.
After they enter Bali with the visa on arrival, they can travel to any region in Indonesia.
Okay, I think that answered the question. So which one is more comfortable, I think, for the tourist?
Yeah.
Questions from Utawa. Do you have any program or package which includes RT-PCR and hotel accommodations for quarantine period? Maybe this is for Bu Dayu.
Yeah, actually, that is the package that is that becomes the product of the Bali Tourism Board with the Bali Medical Tourism Associations. You can go to the Bali Tourism Hospitality for that kind of information. So I can say that at Bali Tourism Hospitality, they have provide for you a package there. We have about 64 hotels with who provides package on quarantine as well as PCR tests.
Okay,
you can go to Bali Tourism Hospitality.
Yeah, so the link that we have already provided on the chat group, chat box. There is questions from J. Piadoso. May I clarify, is sponsorship required to enter Bali?
Visa on arrival does not need sponsor to enter Indonesia. They only require to provide the document that Bu Indah and I have presented before.
Yeah. Okay, so sponsorship is not required for visa and arrival, but they only required all the documents that are required has been explained to in the presentations.
Yeah.
Yes, and then there is another question. Is there a validity for 2 doses of vaccination? Is booster required?
Booster is not required. 2 times fully vaccinated is required, not booster. But booster will be better.
Is there any validity for the 2 doses of vaccination?
Yes.
Is there any validity, like how long it's still considered valid after they
minimum 2 weeks before your departure to Bali.
So only the minimum, but not the maximum. Let's say
No.
in January, it will still be counted.
No, yeah, it's still
not yet.
yeah.
Okay.
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. May I know how can we book RT-PCR upon arrival? I think it has been answered. You can book it upon arrival directly on the spot or via the link, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then there is another questions from Ms. Mary. Further questions. Upon the presentations of the Bali tourism, Ms. Ida mentions that for non-vaccinated passengers, they will be vaccinated on arrival. Can you please further explain about this?
Yeah. So for the not fully vaccinated, age between 6 years old to 17 years old, first you have to be quarantined 5 days here in Bali, and then on the day 4 you will be tested COVID-19, and then if the result is negative, you will be vaccinated on the day 5 here. What kind of vaccine and how much is the price, we have not decided yet. Last meeting with the Bali Medical Tourism Associations, they say that they will give the decisions tomorrow. So unfortunately, I cannot tell you what kind of vaccine you will be get and what price is the vaccination here, because in the circular of the COVID-19 task force do not mention any kind of this vaccinations program. I will give the information further through Bu Wita, yeah.
Thank you very much. This is a nice information, I think. So passengers or travelers aged 6 to 17 years old will be quarantined for 5 days. On day 4, they will be taken PCR test. And then on day 5, if the result is negative, they will be vaccinated. But on the price and on the brand of the vaccine itself, it hasn't been discussed yet. So tomorrow is going to be the final answer for that. Another question from TripQuest. If client enters Bali, then transit to Jakarta, is the RT-PCR still applicable upon arrival?
Yeah. If
client enter Bali, transit to Jakarta, is the RT-PCR still applicable upon arrival?
If they come to Bali, but go to Jakarta first.
I think so. I think that's the questions. Let's say they enter Bali. If the client enters Bali, then transit to Jakarta, is RT-PCR
probably Pak Wi Hadi can answer that, yeah, from immigration office.
Actually, it will be more proper if the COVID-19 National Task Force can answer that, but the RT-PCR result test is only required for the people for the people when they arrive from abroad. So if they do the domestic flight, it is not required to show the negative RT-PCR test result.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that answers that questions. If domestic travelers or domestic travel are not requiring any RT-PCR test so far. We still have some other questions that I would like to read, but maybe we pause it a little bit for reading the chat box. I will give the floor to Pak Aji because I see Pak Aji is raising hands. Pak Aji?
Oh, yes. Sorry, Ibu Dayu again. Sorry, Bu, I have a lot of questions. Yeah, yeah. You were saying that before we departure from Bali, I mean, I'm talking about the leaving Bali, Bu, ya. Jadi exiting Bali, going going back to Manila or going back to any other destination. You were saying that it depends on the regulation on the destination. Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. That is right, Pak.
Okay. So in this case with the Philippines, I know that the government of Philippines require a pre-flight test. So definitely all of the Philippine passport holder will really have to take another PCR before they fly back home. Yeah, but what about the destination that? What about the destination that don't require pre-flight? For instance, I know that Sri Lanka, for instance, they don't need the test before the flight. So if they are going to Sri Lanka at the final destination, do we still to have PCR tests before entering the airport or what?
It depends on the regulations of the airlines as well. The airlines.
Airlines, yeah. So better check with the airlines. It's better check with the airlines.
Because it will be different. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Pak Haji.
Okay. Clear, Bu. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Haji. I would like to continue reading on the questions. I think we still have about 10 to 15 minutes for these discussions. There is questions from Earth Explorer. If Sputnik 5 fully vaccinated plus Moderna vaccine shot, is it allowed?
Yes, it is allowed.
Okay, it is allowed as long as it is of WHO. I think.
Yes. Yeah.
And then there is questions from Deb. Sorry, I'm a bit lost. Can you explain again about the fees, which is $20 and $50? I think this was refer to our discussions on the fee. $20 is around roughly $20 is the fee for RT-PCR test upon arrival in Denpasar, Bali, and $50 is the fee for visa or e-visa. E-visa when you want to enter Indonesia. Not from Bali, I think. And for visa on arrival, I think it is 500K, ya, Pak Wihadia.
1,000, yeah.
500,000 rupiah for visa on arrival. So 500,000 is about 40 or 37 US dollar, I think. Around 37 US dollars. So there are different kinds of fees. Visa on arrival is 37 US dollar, and then the PCR test is 20 US dollar, and then 50 US dollar is for the e-visa. Another question from Ms. Margie. Can we have an idea on more or less how long will it take to finish the arrival procedures, including the visa on arrival and swab test? Maybe Bu Dayu, you can explain like how long usually take the process when the travelers enter Bali.
They have to wait for the result about 3 hours and 6 hours at their room, at their hotel. Yeah.
So they don't need to wait at the airport while they...
No. They can go to their accommodations, hotels, villas, and wait there in their room. When the result is negative, they can continue their itinerary or their activities.
Okay, so maybe the process at the airport itself will really depends on how many people arrive at that time, I guess, right? But usually they proceed on the visa on arrival and then the swab test. How about visa on arrival itself, Pak Wihadi? Do you know how long roughly usually it takes for one person to process?
Yeah, it depends on how many people, like Bu Indah said before. But when the time comes, the process for the visa on arrival itself, if counts individually, is no more than 2 or 3 minutes for the visa to be on arrival to be issued, and the immigration officers give the landing permission for the foreigners. But it depends on how many people were there upon the arrival in the airport.
Okay, yeah, so that's pretty 2 to 3 minutes for the process of visa on arrival individually. But again, it subjects to how many people are at the airport that time. And then there is another question from Ms. Bernadette. One of the requirements for visa is the proof of COVID-19 vaccination. Is local government vaccination card is accepted, or it should be the vaccination certificate from Department of Health from our country, or a yellow card from Bureau of Quarantine? Thank you.
The proof of COVID-19 certificate should be integrated with the link I have said that is belong to the Health Ministry of Indonesia, Kemenkes, yeah. But if you have any difficulty, the ground staff in Denpasar Airport will help you for that. Yeah. So the proof of COVID-19 can be brought in physical copy or digital copy.
Yeah. Maybe Pak Teguh, you would like to add on this issue?
Yeah, I think I just add something about this mutual recognition. Actually, this recognition by Indonesian and the Philippines on the vaccine certificate. If I'm not mistaken, that's Peduli Lindungi. It should be the newest, the ICV, the International COVID Vaccination Certificate. And from the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken, is VaxCert Philippines. There's the applications about the vaccine. I think under the health department, they call it VaxCert PH. This is should be online register, and you will get the paper after that. It could be the applications. It could be the physically. Could be printed. This is the last recognition by the Indonesian. I think for this, you can also visit and asking to the Department of Foreign Affairs, I think. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Teguh, for clarifications. We still have 5 more minutes and 1 more questions. For the questions from Ms. Marby, for the e-visa tourism purposes, there has to be sponsor. What if they stay only on the hotels and no sponsor? I think Pak Wihadi, would you like to clarify?
The hotel can be the sponsor for them.
Okay, so for the e-visa, if for example it's for tourism purposes, the hotel can be the sponsor. So it's either travel agency or the hotel itself.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bu Wita, mungkin sedikit lagi regarding the certificate, vaccine certificate, is a good idea because both Indonesia and Philippines also issue the WHO, the Yellow Book. Yeah, so here in the Philippines, also for us, we have a Yellow Book under the Bureau of Quarantine of the Philippines. So this is also issued in Indonesia under the KKP, that's the health office in port or seaport. So the Yellow Book also could be recognized, I think, by both Philippines and Indonesia as well. So it's better to prepare as much as you can, because this is online registration. So you can get the Yellow Book here, you can get the Yellow Book in Indonesia as well. Thank you. Actually, I have one question for Ibu Indah in Bali. Before that, we understand that if you go to Bali, you have to have accommodation for 4 days, 3 nights. Is that still on or no more? Because before we
no more, Pak Teguh.
No more, yeah.
No more.
So
less restriction, more visitors, Pak Teguh.
more visitors. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter one night, overnight, and then traveling
Yeah.
to Bali is okay, yeah? No more,
Yeah.
yeah?
It's
Okay,
okay.
Pak Teguh. Okay, Pak. Just come. Just come.
Okay, because I just want to go to Bali and Surabaya to see Pak
Yeah.
Agus.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
Pak.
you,
Yes,
Bu
Pak.
Ida.
Please, please.
Okay, Bu Ida. We can.
Yeah.
So much, Pak Teguh. I think we have no more questions, and we also running out of time because it's already 12:28. So once again, I think if there is still one more questions, I will facilitate that. But if there is no other questions, I would like to say thank you very much for everyone here. Thank you so much, especially for the Bapak Wihadi and also Ibu Indah, Bu Dayu, for being here with us and answering all the questions from travel and tourist operators. I'm pretty sure they are very happy with all the answers, and I'm pretty sure there has been a lot of people from the Philippines who would like to travel to Bali, especially because we also receive a lot of questions not only from the travel and tourism, but also from the people on our social media. When can we travel to Bali? When can we travel to Indonesia? So we are very happy to hold this event today to get the answer. And thank you so much for Pak Kusuma Pradopo and also Pak Teguh for being here with us. And again, very great appreciations for all the tourism, tour and tourism operator, and also for airlines companies who are present with us here today. Once again, I would like to remind everyone to do not forget to fill out the link that we provide in the chat box. That's the link where you can put your email address, because I see some of the people are asking the presentation slide from both of you to be sent to their email. So if you would like us to send to your email the presentations for today's discussions, do not forget to fill out on the form so we can have the track of your contact address. So once again, thank you very much for everyone. Yes, I think there is a question. Can I have the link again? I would like to ask maybe Ms. Chop to share the link again there. And we're not gonna close this so that everyone can still fill out the link over there. So once again, maybe we would like to have a photo sessions before closing. We have about 90.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Everyone could open the video so we could have picture opportunity or photo sessions. So usually the first one is the one with video. Okay, so we'll do the first slide. And then
Like this, you and Pak Budi.
yes. And then the second one. Then the third one, and the last one. So we have already everyone in the picture. So once again, thank you very much for everyone that joined us in today's presentations. For closing, I would like to say Bali is ready to welcome you all, and Indonesia is also ready to welcome you all. I hope everyone to stay safe and stay healthy during pandemic, and I hope maybe in the near future the regulations can be improved little by little so that everyone can travel in comfort. So thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mbak Wita. Terima kasih, Pak Teguh.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Ibu Bapak
Ya.
semua.
Linda, kalau
Terima
ini
kasih
ada-
Pak Teguh, terima
Terima
kasih
kasih.
Co, terima kasih Bu Dayu,
Terima kasih, Pak
semuanya.
Haji. Terima kasih, Pak Wihadi, semuanya. Thank you very much.
Bu Indah, kalau ada alamat yang bisa di ini nanti untuk teman-teman kalau ada yang bertanya.